Freshlist.io.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. I am your co-host, Rachel.
And I'm Dahlia.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about manifesting love. Don't forget to follow us on social media at YDFL Podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, you can check us out on YouTube or
Spotify.
You can ask Alexa.
We love Alexa.
To play the latest episodes of You Deserve Fresh Lettuce. Let's get into it. Manifesting love.
Manifesting love.
So we kind of stay visiting a platform called Clubhouse.
Yes.
And there is a woman that a lot of you are going to be familiar with. Her name is
Patty Stanger with, Millionaire Matchmaker.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like a whole book, by the way, like a whole book. She has a website. You could actually pay extra money to be part of her network. And here's the good and the bad about that, in my opinion, because I saw some of her posts this morning, and it's like this whole music. It's kind of spa-y, kind of tantric, kind of sexy. And then there's a part of me that, unfortunately, I'm sure she gets a lot because she's a very beautiful 60-year-old, but has never been married and has never found the love of her life. Or maybe she has, I don't know. And so she's going to help you manifest your love. But then, I guess it's one of those things where...
Is it like us that we're doing a relationship show, but we're still single?
Yeah, but we're still single. But here's the thing with us, though, in my opinion, we talk about this all the time. We've already been down that road.
Oh, yeah.
We've been there, done that. We've had the kids. We've lived the life. We were married. Then, things happened. So with her, I don't think she's ever really experienced the kids, the marriage, the this, that. So it's kind of like what you say. If I get another shot at this, then I'm like 2 in. So, I mean, some people don't even get the one shot.
Yeah,
so I think that with her, what she does a lot of is like, these I guess they're like mantras that she says, like, I am worthy, I am this, I want a man that's, so you're supposed to write a list of the things that you want in a man, and then you are supposed to kind of chant them.
So it's like a little bit of new age, right? Because she does seem to relate to the new age, and that kind of gave us the idea to do this episode because we're on TikTok, we're on Clubhouse, social media, and then you see this huge, massive push in the direction of new age and this whole idea that you have the power to manifest and call into your life anything that you want, right? And so at the end of the day, when we're sitting here talking about love and how to call love in, I will tell you, I have seen people specifically on TikTok that give advice saying you can call your significant person. They call it an SP, and you close your eyes or you write it on a piece of paper with a red pen. There's like all these things, and you call your person. But here's the thing. Some people are out here really believing that their soulmate is like somebody's husband.
Right. That's a problem.
This person is someone's husband.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but that's my soulmate.
I know, I feel it.
And then you're sitting here doing chants and everything for someone else's person.
Here's the thing with that, with what you're saying about the husbands. So, and we always talk about this, in my opinion. I feel that, let's just say if you're saying that means that maybe she's carrying on a relationship with someone that's already married. So you're getting the best part of a man, in my opinion, because you're not getting the man that comes home demanding laundry to be made, dinner to be served, house to be cleaned, bills to be paid, looking sexy, smelling good, looking on point. That's not being demanded of you because you're just there to be sexy, beautiful, pretty, smelling good. Maybe you meet out at a hotel and it's easy and you're getting the best part of both people. You're not doing life with the person. So if the person is sitting there saying, that's my man of my dreams, it could feel that way initially, but all of that you have to do to run a household, you're gonna have to do it again. You're gonna have to do that.
It's everything but the work, right? And when you look at, let's just say, social media, and you see someone's Instagram and their life looks so amazing because they travel, because they this, because they that, that's just the highlight reel.
And you don't know what happens behind closed doors.
It's just a highlight reel, and it's the same way. But there are people out here that are trying to manifest their significant person, and the significant person's literally in a relationship with someone else.
Right.
My other thing is, like, when we're talking about manifesting love, we've talked about this on like other episodes about magic or voodoo, and wanting to call in someone that maybe that's not what maybe God has chosen for you, and then you're essentially forcing things and taking the matters into your own hands to draw love, right?
Right.
And we've unpacked that. But with this specifically,
Right.
When you look at things like feng shui,
Right.
there is a little tactic that I saw that I was talking to Delia about that says, when you have your nightstands, and actually you had came and you were like, oh, the nightstand thing. And I said, oh, yeah, I heard a step further. You're supposed to put 2 lamps on the nightstand. And then, by the way, they should connect to one switch so that when you turn on your light switch, boom, both lights illuminate.
Yeah.
And so even though we talk about faith on the show, and we lean into that, at the end of the day, we live in this world that's very superstitious, and we live in this world that has these weird little things that people tap into. Yeah. And so, that's a thing.
No, I actually saw that on, I know TikTok, but I did see that. They're like, you have to prepare for the man, and you have to prepare for this. And I'm like, and they were saying basically, do you have 2 nightstands? And I was like, no, I only have one. Because I only need one because I have a mirror that kind of hangs and it's really pretty. And so I'm like, I can't put a nightstand there because there's like a really nice, beautiful mirror there. And then I was like, did you know this? And so Rachel's like, yeah, and you could take it a step further. You talked about the lamps, but on another TikTok that I was, or it could have been like maybe Clubhouse, there's this guy named Peter something, and he speaks on relationships, and this is what he said: you can manifest a lover if you do the nightstands, you could do like the lamps, you could do all that stuff. So once you do get the person, though, he was saying that then once you're in a relationship, what happens sometimes is we think we're going to lose the person. So now you're coming from a place of feeling that you're going to lose.
Like fear,
You're coming from a place of fear. So you're not really actually ever really living, because you first want someone, you get the one person. Then after you get the person, now you're worried about losing the person. And so you go through life, no matter what part of life that you're living, still living in fear. And when he said that, I was like, it was an aha moment for me.
It is. And what I'm kind of getting out of it is, at the end of the day, if you are trying to control or manipulate anything or anyone, you're always going to feel out of control.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm getting from what you just said.
And it really is. I think what it really boils down to, and what I took from the message, was you got to enjoy and live for this moment. So what will happen tomorrow? And we sit there and we'll go on a date, and we're like, how does he eat? Because we talk about manners. How does he speak to the servers? How does he this? Can I go on another date with him? Do I like him enough? Is this going to go any further? And we sit there and we kind of we're analyzing the person. And rather than living for that moment and just saying, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know that I'm going to live another week. But I know that I'm going to enjoy this moment. So if you're with someone and you're married, enjoy that moment rather than wondering, is he, maybe sleeping with a secretary? Is he doing this? Is he doing that?
And we do talk about that, because it's like, he came home, cool. Be in a good mood. Just be in a good mood. Be grateful.
Right.
But when we're talking about manifesting love and bringing love into your life, you can look up these feng shui little things.
Right.
I am a believer that in anything that you want to draw into your life, you should be prepared to bring it in.
Right.
And I do a lot of stuff with women in business, and I give a lot of advice on the business front. If you want to start a side hustle, whatever. Even today, my TikToks today were about preparing for the money, right?
Right.
So I'm going to flip it to this side, to the love side, and say, if you want love to come into your life, I highly suggest that you look around your environment.
Right.
And ask yourself, are you prepared to receive love?
Right.
Is there a space in the closet? They say like a little space, right?
There
for
is
like
no space in my closet.
There is no space in the closet.
No space.
But we're back to like the nightstand, right? Is there a nightstand on the one side and it's empty and, it's ready for him or whatever the situation is?
Right.
Is there, in your bathroom, is there like a dual vanity? Do you have a little thing there and a little thing here? Like almost like in some rooms, we live in Southern California, and the master bedrooms, are
pretty big.
A big deal. And they have a nice size. So it's like, you might have one chair with like a little table and a little thing where you read or drink tea, whatever. That should be 2 chairs. And so everything should be 2s. And then like even your artwork, there shouldn't be, I looked all into this in preparation. It's like, you're not supposed to have like artwork where it's like a woman by herself. It's like, no, there should be 2. If there's a flower.
Well, that's where I got it messed up then.
Right? It's like if there's a flower, like a peony or whatever they call them, there should be 2. Or like if there's a bird, there should be 2.
2 birds.
And so everything should be pairs. Again, I'm failing at this in many
Well,
ways,
I think you're winning, actually. If you ask me, I think I'm winning, and here's why. Because I believe that when I speak to people, they're still looking for something more. You have to understand that. Though it seems as if they have it together, they have someone, they travel with that one person, they're always doing life with that one person, and sometimes you think what you're looking at seems so perfect, but when you actually get the backstory of it, you realize that they're not really living. They're still looking for something more.
You're talking about somebody has a man already,
right?
And they're trying to manifest some other freaking dude.
Yeah, manifest something better. Like
ladies,
until this guy, until I can get a better guy, I'm not going to leave him. And then this is how people, like, literally, that's the way they live. They go from this person to the next person to the next person, and you know that's the way it is.
Yeah, that to me is a whole lot of insecurity to be alone, because if you know that the person you're with is not fulfilling you,
right?
It's only fair to them, and I'm not talking about if you're married, but it's
right.
only fair to them if you say, yeah, this isn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
Versus, well, I'm going to hold on to him until something better comes along, because he takes me to dinner, because he takes me on trips, because at the end of the day, now you're blocking your energy. We talk about this, yeah. Picking up a rock when you're taking up your hands with the rock when you're hoping for a diamond, but your hands are full. I think that at the end of the day, even though we're I lean very heavy into my faith, I can't help but have areas that I'm superstitious, and it does cause me to look around and say, am I prepared to receive? Right. It's like, ladies, if you're gonna go on a date and maybe it's date number 6 and you're thinking tonight's the night, he doesn't know, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to prepare for that.
Right, of course.
There's things you're going to do to
your
body.
You're not just going to show up and not be groomed.
Yeah, exactly. There's things you're going to do to prepare for that. Yeah. And you might even do a little something in your room or whatever it is. Right. You're going to prepare. So I think that the moral of the message is, if you want to manifest love, you have to really, truly be prepared for it.
Right. And mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, everything. Yeah. And I've even heard of people, actually, it's kind of funny. Speaking of manifesting, people will take it a step further. So what they'll do is they'll get an actual glass jar. I'm not telling you guys what to do, how to do. I'm not a witch. But here it is.
I feel like a banner needs to run across the bottom.
We are not. Just a big disclaimer, right? Big disclaimer. And I guess from my understanding, you are supposed to write the person's name, last name 3 times in a piece of paper, fold it. It's supposed to go in a glass jar with honey, cinnamon, and I don't know what. And you're supposed to just pray on it. And supposedly that's it could have more to it, by the way, but it's something to do with honey and the person's name times 3 in a jar.
Why do I hear everybody going?
Yeah, Google. Google. And that is supposed to supposedly sweeten the relationship, the person, whoever it is that you're trying to manifest. If you already know who he is, but maybe he's not coming to you, that is a way, supposedly. Again, I don't know that I even said it correctly, but it's something along those lines with honey and cinnamon and it's all sweet and I don't know, whatever.
What about the fact that if you haven't heard from a guy in 3 months, 6 months, a year, I don't know what the situation is. Right. If the guy is not in front of you,
right,
and he's not doing whatever to show you that he's thinking about you and all that stuff, why would you want to use these random energetic tactics to draw that person closer instead of saying, clearly that's God's way of saying he's just not that into me.
Right.
So maybe I just need to
let it go.
Trust the process and keep it moving. We talked today about stay focused on your own hustle, on your own joy.
And then keep it moving and someone will show up. I don't know. I mean, it goes back to the things that we talk about. Sometimes people have the toxica behavior and they just want the one person they can't have. Men to women and women to men, and that's just the way that goes. But
I feel like it's the same people that are taking control in this way to manipulate or manifest, let's just say, the person in. They go down the altar, they get married, and then that's the person 5 years in going, oh my God, he's so annoying because da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Now they're not
I'm
happy.
Looking for my soulmate, my twin flame, and you're so this guy is just what?
You're 3 baby daddies in.
I know, we're say, what? How is this possible? But I hear a lot of stuff, and with Patty Stanger, I know she has a whole mantra and music, and you can be part of her classes, and she helps you manifest the man of your dreams, and It seems pretty cool. I wouldn't join, but it's pretty awesome. Like the way that she's marketed, it almost makes you want to be like, I want to learn about this. Like, what is this? But at the end of the day, God has his plan for you.
Here's the thing. He really does.
Yeah.
And you have to have the courage to literally pray. And, episode 1, season 1, we talked about this prayer.
Yep.
But there's a flip side to that. Like, you can literally get to a place where you're praying. It's a very scary prayer, by the way.
Right, it is.
Because you need to literally pray that God's will be done in your life, and that you don't want anything for your life that he doesn't want for your life. And very few people have the courage to pray for that, because you know what that means? That means there might not be anybody else. That means you might not be meant to have children. That means that your soulmate, quote unquote, air quotes, whatever, might be the little guy parking cars in the valet at the local hotel, like might not be the jet setter. Right. When you literally surrender to God's will, you release all control and expectations, and you let go of the outcome.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of people don't have courage to do that. And so the flip side of that is, oh, you mean I have control? You mean that I could imagine this person? And by the way, I even, again, not to teach people witchcraft, I saw on TikTok that there's this thing called like sex, have you heard of this? It's like sex manifestation or something like that. And essentially when you have an orgasm by yourself and you're thinking about this person, it's called sex magic, or what's it called? Oh, we talked about it not so long ago.
I think I may have seen it, and you're supposed to call the person's name out.
You're like supposed to like imagine the person, and then I don't know if you say their name. There's a whole process to it, but in the act of having the orgasm, because that becomes a big physical event and energy that's exploding in and out of you, or whatever the situation is, and this is you by yourself.
Right.
You essentially send that burst of energy into the universe, and that person receives it somehow, and then they're like, whoa.
Oh.
And the lady goes on to explain that just as women can do that, and I'm not saying you should do that, but it's a thing. Just as women do that think about a man who's looking at your photos, that you're not even with him anymore, and he's self-pleasing or pleasing himself.
Okay.
Looking at your photos, essentially he's doing the magic on you.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
You haven't heard this?
So I didn't hear it to that. I didn't really get that much out of whatever it is that I had heard, but that's pretty interesting.
It is like...
No wonder I keep getting text messages.
No wonder you get these random like, oh, I'm thinking about this person. It's like, well, this person's on their bathroom break.
Right.
Looking at your Instagram photos.
No, I'm kidding. No, it doesn't happen that way. But that's pretty interesting. That's so interesting.
So there's a lot that people are doing.
There's so much to it at the end of the day. And I think that you just got to be happy with whatever it is that you got going on. If this moment means that you're like by yourself, you got to enjoy being by yourself. If someone meets you in your happiness, and awesome, welcome them. And if that person's meant to be forever, then awesome. If you are with someone, don't worry about whether or not you're going to lose a person, because I think that's another thing. And I don't think that really resonated with me until he said it that way, that I said, damn, that is so true. You have somebody, and now you're wondering when, how, what, why can I possibly lose this person? I mean, it happens.
It's fear-based. I'm definitely all about preparing yourself to receive your ideal partner. I think it is really important to have a clear sort of view of what you truly desire in your life as a partner.
Right.
Maybe it's not looks, maybe it's financial stability, maybe it's not even that, maybe it's personality, maybe it's spirituality.
Right.
Maybe it's being physically fit. Whatever those things are, for you to then become that which you seek to attract.
Right.
I'm a huge believer in that.
That's so true. You gotta mirror what you want.
Yes, because I can tell you from firsthand experience, when I was thinner, I was confidently going into the world, and I knew that I wanted a guy that looked great and that dressed well and that felt physically confident in his own skin. As soon as I put on the weight, this is all after my divorce, of course, as soon as I gained those 50 pounds, I can tell you my light dimmed.
Aww.
And then I was going into the world with a dimmed light. And so then when you're doing that, you're not as confident, and then you're not receiving.
People would see it too.
And then if somebody's complimenting or going, oh, I'm flirting, you then have these doubts of like, he could have anybody. Why is he like trying to mess with me? So you got to get into a mental state, an emotional state, and a physical state of confidence and peace with yourself so that you can then receive that
Yeah.
love that you want.
And you just got to be like, Heavenly Father, I want what you want from me. And you got to chant that, and you got to like dance it, and you got to like feel the energy.
Snap your fingers.
And you got to
you know?
dance. I don't know. I mean, that feels good to me. So
Yeah.
whatever it takes.
I mean, like, I was on a walk the other day. We talk about this. It's like
Yeah.
the visualization. I had my beats on.
Oh,
The
yeah.
music was pumping. I'm
Yeah.
walking. And it was so funny because I looked down this huge path that I was on outside.
Yeah.
And it's like visualizing yourself just like walking down
Down-
the aisle.
Oh.
Or the guy waiting for you standing there nervously. I mean, get into it. Have a
Yeah,
good time.
have a good
Visualize.
time.
But get yourself together and get
I
yourself
mean,
ready.
get like the metaverse thing going, you know, and just be like,
Oh.
you know, like you're not in this world, you're out of this world.
You think people are probably going to get married in the metaverse, huh?
You know, that's a good. Yeah, you know, we need to be like wedding planners in the metaverse.
How about we be relationship counselors in the metaverse?
Yeah, we're like, listen, she lives in London and you live in California, and you guys just meet like
But
halfway. I don't know.
The
like,
thing is like the online dating was one thing, but now metaverse is going to be a thing.
you know what? Now that you say that, it's going to be such a thing, and like we literally are unpacking it as we're talking about it.
Oh my
So I mean,
gosh.
you never know. You might find someone in the metaverse, and what if you only connect in the metaverse, but you don't connect in the universe?
Okay, no, listen. There, I saw a whole documentary.
I love him, but I don't love him here.
I
love him there.
saw a documentary of a woman that was married,
Yeah.
a man that was married.
Okay.
They lived completely opposite ends of the country.
Okay.
They were in a metaverse virtual reality
my
world.
gosh.
Okay. And they would take walks together and meet up and like sit on a bench with like fake water in this video game world.
That is
okay?
so awesome, though.
And they,
in a weird way.
and they would talk to each other and they fell in love. She left her husband
Oh my gosh.
with kids and everything. She was like a housewife. He left his situation. They ended up together, and 3 months later, she was absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. Like, absolutely miserable because,
my
like you said,
gosh.
in the metaverse, it was all fine and dandy, but in the universe,
well,
it was no good.
Because it's the whole thing that we're talking about. It's different when you have to show up and look pretty and your hair's done and this, you smell good and then
Illusions and
it's
delusions.
just like this allure that you have, and then all of a sudden the reality hits, and now it's like, oh my gosh, you got to get the kids and and did we pay this and did that get paid? You know what I mean? And it's just you're doing life, and it's different. So the metaverse is, you know, I guess it could be real to a degree, but it's not real.
It isn't. And when
know?
you are trying to manifest love into your life, remember, it's not about quote unquote perfection.
Right.
It's about having a partner to take the journey of life with you. It's not someone that you're never going to fight with. You're going to argue with
Right.
that person. You're going to butt heads. You're going to get tired of each other. Like, it's not this
You
rosy,
might want to
peachy
go
thing.
look for the soulmate, and it's like, he is your soulmate. Just really work it out. And if you are alone and you're trying to manifest like that love, like, show up for yourself, mirror what you want, and just be happy with whatever you've got going on. When the person arrives, you'll be ready to receive them. And you know what? Just dance, live, laugh, love, enjoy. And I
big.
think that's it.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check the show notes for any links and merch and little surprises that we might throw in there for you.
We're going to be in the metaverse.
In the metaverse. And don't forget that you deserve
fresh
fresh
lettuce.
lettuce. Cheers.
Salud.